Hi guys! First things first, I'm wearing purple lipstick and it's new and I like it a lot. Anyway, moving on. So this recovery video is about weeks 3 to 4. I posted a recovery video quite recently on weeks 1 and 2, so feel free to go watch that first if you haven't already, or you can just start here, it doesn't really matter to be fair. Week 3 was when my sister came up with the idea that I should have a backpack to actually carry things around by myself, which was an amazing idea and I don't really know why we didn't think of it before, but that was so helpful because it meant that I could just put my things in the backpack and not have to get other people to carry things around for me, especially when I was going up and down the stairs. I was still having to like slide down the stairs on my bum and use like my hands to use my hands to push myself down and to like push myself back up and keep my leg raised while I was going down, but I was strong enough to keep my leg raised myself, so I didn't need to get other people to help me down the stairs anymore. And having a backpack meant that I could actually carry things downstairs without having to get other people to help me, so that was really nice. Also, I don't think I mentioned this before, but my shower has like a really big step to get in, and although I was getting better at steps, I was not good enough to get in the shower and I still couldn't like stand up for that long, so I had like this special toilet seat, which I think I mentioned before, even though this may be too much information, but like it was like on a stand type thing. It's like there's the seat and then there are like these two stand things and there are like these handles. Don't you love demonstrations? There are these handles that you can like use to help you sit down. So I was putting that in my sister's shower because it's like a walk-in one. It's just the same height, like the same level as the rest of her bathroom. Yeah, so I was using that shower and sitting down, and then also it got to the point in this week 3 and 4 section where I didn't need to get other people to help me anymore, and once I'd actually got in I could just shower on my own, which was good. You know, it was good to have some semblance of privacy. Even if it didn't seem like a massive thing, it really made me feel a lot better. It was week 4 on the Saturday when I played the piano for the first time in weeks. Because I was in France when I had the accident, I was already on holiday, so I hadn't played the piano since like the day before we'd left. And then once we got back, because I couldn't move my leg properly, I couldn't actually sit at the piano, and then it got to this point and I could finally sit down at the piano again. It was still really hurting my knee, but it was in the way that it was uncomfortable and kind of stretched rather than it being actually painful. So it was like the good kind of discomfort. And I just played some scales. I could only sit there for about 15 minutes, but it was so nice. I've never enjoyed C major so much. Like, it's just the generic scale that you start with, that you learn, probably the first scale you ever learn. And I mean, I don't particularly love scales, but I almost cried. I missed it so much. I think since I started playing the piano about 11 years ago, that must be the longest I've gone without playing, so that made a massive difference. That was so good to be able to play again. Then on the Sunday, it was my mum's birthday, so we had some family over and I actually got to sit in the room with everyone else, and that was really cool. I had like a little footstool thing and I kind of had to stand up and do my exercises and move around a bit, but it was really nice just to be involved and to see some new faces because I haven't really been able to go out. Talking of which, I did go out on the Thursday. We'll get there in a second. Okay, so Monday I had another physio appointment and I got some new exercises to do. So instead of just having the exercises where I had to like push my knee out to the side and tense the muscles and things, I actually had some exercises to do on my tummy. So say this is my leg. I was doing like lifting it up to kind of 90-degree angle, although I couldn't do that yet, but that was like the goal, and then also just like leg lifts to try and get the muscles actually working enough to lift up my whole leg. So yeah, that was good. It made me really tired, so when I got home I basically just went to bed. On Wednesday I actually went to my piano lesson. I usually have a piano lesson every Wednesday, and I had to miss a few weeks because obviously I couldn't sit at the piano properly, but I went this week and it was really nice. I sat there for the full hour. That's probably the longest I've actually spent sitting in one position, but I made it through. It wasn't painful or anything. It was vaguely uncomfortable, but kind of in a good way that showed that things were improving. On Thursday, as I mentioned, I actually went out and me and my sister went to Nando's and ate lunch together, and that was just, it was so good. I really love Nando's. It's a great restaurant. I love the food, and I hadn't been out really. I hadn't been out for anything that wasn't a physio appointment or a hospital appointment. And to be fair, I think one time, I think maybe in week 3, we went to my granny's house for dinner, but that was also different because we were just in someone else's house. So although the journey was uncomfortable, once I was there, it was just like being at home, because I could still excuse myself from the table and go do exercises and things, so it was a bit different. But we actually went out to lunch, and because it was the middle of the day on a Thursday, there were hardly any people there, so I had enough room and I didn't have to worry about other people getting in the way or not realising I was injured and like walking into me or anything like that. And I had the nicest time. I was so happy. I think this video was probably a lot quicker than weeks 1 and 2, because from now on it was more of a steady recovery and little things were improving each week. But just to recap, the things I could and couldn't do by the end of week 4. So I could carry things around by myself and I could get up and down the stairs without assistance. I was just like carrying my crutches at the side as I scooted down the stairs and things like that. I could shower without assistance. I could play the piano, which was maybe the biggest deal for me. I still couldn't do things like stand up in the shower or sit down for more than an hour at a time because it was just too uncomfortable and my foot was still turning blue and purple and stuff if I was sat down for too long, so I still needed to keep it raised a bit. I could go out to lunch. I couldn't sit properly in the car though. I was still sat across the back seat with my leg up, but that was alright. It wasn't too uncomfortable. It was really uncomfortable at the start, but I was kind of starting to get used to it. I think that in general that's probably me done for weeks 3 and 4, so stay tuned for weeks 5 and 6. I'll try and actually make some other content, but at the moment I'm kind of quite enjoying just doing this because it's something I know how to talk about. So yeah, thank you for watching, I guess. I'll see you soon. Also let me know whether you like my lipstick because I really do. Bye!